Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Fabian for Liberty, fabianforliberty.com. Quick thing before I get into today's topic was Friday. We had a big Black Friday sale. Went really well. We're doing a Cyber Monday sale with some different products and different things as well. So if you're on the email list, you'll get that information sent to you shortly. Also, next week, maybe this week, we're going to be giving away our new supplement line. It's our men's multivitamin that's just been in. I've been taking this now for about 3 months. But we're releasing it. I think we're giving away 100 bottles for free. Again, if you're on the email list, you'll be one of the first to receive the promo code and the coupon code for you can try it out. Now, I don't care whether you take it or not, or whether you take a multivitamin or not. This is actually a multivitamin with a testosterone booster. And I can tell you that like I said, took it 3 months ago. A lot of people have been commenting like, hey, Fabian, you look like you've been working out. Well, we're actually doing a blog post to our website about this. When I started taking it, and I'm not saying it's all because of this. Obviously, I've been eating a really good diet, training hard, but I was weighing in at about 163, and I weigh about 185 today, 3 months later. And I've been hitting it hard at the gym. I've been working out like crazy, working out with a former NFL player. So obviously, there's a lot that goes into that. But I feel totally great, and this is what I love about being an entrepreneur, is that I could actually formulate stuff and make stuff, that are not made in China, but that I know exactly what's going into it. And, if nobody else takes it, I have a couple hundred bottles of this stuff that I could take for the next 3-4 years, right? So that's pretty cool. And again, you opt in at fabianforliberty.com or fabiancalvo.me, you'll get all that info. So a lot has happened. I was away last week. You may have seen on my Facebook page that had a very eventful Thanksgiving day. My son broke his arm. It was very interesting. But so much has happened. I want to talk about Ferguson because I really haven't had a chance to really break down my analysis of it. Although I told you it was going to happen. There's going to be riots in the streets. It's so predictable. But, instead of Ferguson, let's think about what people are not talking about. They're not talking about the fact the U.S. debt just hit $18 trillion, up 70% under Obama. They're not talking about how in New York City, according to the CDC, 78% of every abortion was black or Hispanic. Oh, not talking about that. Not talking about that. They're not talking about the white guy in St. Louis that was beaten to death by 2 black thugs, teenagers, aged 15 and 16, with a hammer, by the way. I should have thrown the hammer part in there a little bit earlier, but they don't talk about that either. No, instead they're talking about Obama having this 3-day, this 3 events in one day about Ferguson, and inviting all the, new race pimps and peddlers out there like Al Sharpton. It's really amazing to me because this is now so incredibly scripted and obvious. I mean, look, anybody in the military will tell you that if you're going to do something, or if you want to protect against the enemy, you know that nighttime is when the enemy may come and attack, okay? And I am 100% for protests. I've been at a bunch of protests. I've spoken at them. Totally down with it. What I'm not down with are criminals burning down businesses and criminals attacking police who are just doing their job. Okay? Now, I don't even need to get into the overwhelming evidence regarding the grand jury testimony. Few have probably read, maybe more so on this to watch these videos, but overall, general public, the ignorance is incredible. No one's read the grand jury, release documents that they released. Of course, nobody's talking about the 7 or 8 black witnesses before the grand jury that said, no, actually everything the police guy said is exactly what happened. No one's talking about that. Instead, they're talking about, witnesses that said, oh, Michael Brown had his hands up, all this other stuff that has been completely, with ballistics, with DNA, everything else, has been proven the early witnesses that said he had his hands up were lying. In fact, grand jury documents prove it. Prove it. So here we are in America where it shows you where we're at as a country, really. You know, another thing people aren't talking about was Black Friday. I'm still amazed, and even with all the changes, I've talked about automation, the age of automation, the fact that, you know, robots will likely replace 40 to 50% of the jobs that are out there now. That's why it's another good reason to become an entrepreneur, because robots probably going to take your job. But I'm amazed that the Black Friday coverage, you know, for those of you watching around the world, although this stuff happened in England and in London as well, I'm almost ashamed to see fellow Americans beating the daylights out of them over a $5 waffle maker. I mean, what's it come to in this country? What's it come to where you're going to jack someone's shopping cart with the $200 TV? I mean, it's just so incredible. But you see, this is the equivalent, the Black Friday is the equivalent of modern day bread and circuses. It's really what it is. And the media is so complicit with the criminal elements of this government to foment balkanization, foment race issues that are totally baited, totally fabricated, to get the ignorant masses to rise up so that they could come in and then they could say, oh, now we're going to make everything better. We need to be more authoritarian because look at what the looters did. I mean, I'm watching the events when was it? Tuesday, Wednesday. And I'm watching black business owners having their businesses burned to the ground. And the cops aren't doing anything. Now, are there corrupt cops? Of course there are. There's no question there's corrupt cops. But by and large, most cops, I think, are good and honorable. Now, I say most, maybe 70% of them. 75% of them. So there's corrupt ones, no kidding. Is there racism in the police work? Of course there is. But when there is an abundance of evidence, ladies and gentlemen, and the ignorance of the useful idiots are still out there, white and black, burning down businesses, beating up people at the freaking Arby's or wherever else they're at, I'm embarrassed to be an American. To be honest, I get angry at what the globalists have done to this country. And I'll tell you, the central point of this is why I've said this 100 times. The key to all this is basically being self-reliant, opting out of the system. You see, the system that encourages and race baits is the same system that wants an expanded welfare state, is the same system that wants to drive down wages by bringing in illegals into the country. It's the same system that wants to inflate away the currency so that people's purchasing power goes down. This is how they consolidate power. And it doesn't matter whether it's a Republican or a Democrat in the office. They all do the same thing. And so see, once you're conscious of that and you know this is the real world we're operating on, I think your life becomes a lot easier. Until then, it is literally a new slave state that's being set up here. And the new slave state tells you, you can't do it yourself. Everyone hates you because there's racism. And I just reject that 100%. If you've seen the Dinesh D'Souza movie about America, I love the part of the first millionaire woman in America was actually a black woman who actually grew up on a slave plantation. It's a great story. I wish I knew her name. I forgot it. If you know the name, please post it here so people can check that out. But anyways, a lot of things going on. The Ferguson stuff, though, in my opinion, there's no doubt a lot of it was set up. Like I was saying earlier, why would you ever release the decision at 9 o'clock at night instead of do it at 10 a.m. in the morning, allow the police to prepare, allow everything to be, allow people to peacefully go out there and protest before the thugs come out at night. Instead, they do it at night so they can get the exact reaction they were looking for. It is so scripted. It is so obvious. I know people that watch these videos get it and they know it, but there's a lot of people out there that don't, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm Fabian for Liberty. FabianForLiberty.com. Thanks for watching. I'm out.